test. All right, you guys, so I've got some really good news here. What I have in front of me is a new level editor. So the level editor that I started creating, I did some variations of one. For example, I think it was in 2008. So I've actually made stuff before. Like I've made a game before in Flash with bombies and stuff in it, and it has some other weird things in there. You can find it on my DeviantArt profile. But anyways, I ended up doing like a level editor. What happened was Flash shut down, and it was done in ActionScript 3. So I ended up, trying to figure out what I was going to create a level editor in if I ended up ever doing it. Various things have taken place. I started one in JavaScript in 2017. And I did some stuff, and it was in kind of one of my custom content management systems, and I've revamped it to the new game engine instead, because the custom content management systems I was working on had this whole other syntax that I was creating, which was kind of a little bit overkill for now. So my new game engine is much more cleaner. My coding skills are much better than they used to be. I've been programming for decades now, and with time, comes much, much, much cleaner understanding. So everything is very modular here. It's done in the same game engine as the simulator, that little game simulator I've created. It has the online mode. So let me just, without further ado, just open it up. So if you look here, you can see like the temporary loading screen, the little icons at the bottom here. I just got to come up with a cool icon for them. These are just placeholders. I'm probably not going to use that for any of them, but and I do have icon sets. Anyway, if you look here, there is a level editor that opens up when I click that icon. So if I go ahead and hit this, you can see what it does is it opens up a level file. And so, if I want to close that, I can shut that down. I can also open it back up. If I feel like it, I can open up this level 17. There might be some, bugs and glitches here and there, especially like with reopening stuff you've closed. I haven't ironed all that out just yet, but that's besides the point, because the beauty of this is that it's done in JavaScript, which means that this can be ported to Electron, which I plan to do. And so I've already started kind of opening it with Electron. The beauty of Electron is you can save stuff to your computer. It has access to read and write to your computer. So you can open files and just save them as if it was a C++ application. I want to be real with you guys. When it comes to C++, I am working on the C++ version of the game simulator, and that's already coming along. It's loading animations. You can play it, walk around. I still got to do the levels and the tile sets and stuff and kind of get it up to where I want the rest to be. So this new level editor has introduced a ton of changes to the code where it's far more modular. There's a lot more stuff for GUIs. There's stuff for like buttons, menus, all that jazz. However, when it comes to C++, I find that C++ is not the best for graphical user interface. And so I would much prefer my game tools be in JavaScript. And they are. So am I going to make a level editor in C++? I'm going to go ahead and say probably not. I don't think I need to. For one, Discord, Discord's a magnificent application, and that's done using JavaScript, and that's also ported through, applications like Electron. In fact, I think it might even be done in Electron. So, all we have to do is just take this index file and just drop it in Electron, and then we can compile that into an app or an executable file. That's freaking so convenient and so flexible and so professional and modern. I don't want my game tools, I think, to be in C++. That's not to say that there won't be one. However, the beauty of JavaScript, if you guys don't understand, is that it is very flexible. So I've created a ton of classes. If you look in here a little bit, you can see I've got a ton of stuff going on here. So there's like this new file called the JEST tiler. It's the tiler application. You can see it up here, clients, and then you've got some custom CSS for the applications if you want to. So there's the JEST play and the JEST tiler. So I don't know if I'm going to call it JEST play in the end. It's just going to be called JEST. but or at least will be known as that. But this is, the simulator where you can play, and then this is the tiler application where you can tile levels. And so if you look through here, there's a ton more stuff going on. There's GUI classes, there's file classes for handling files, file viewer classes, different things for handling states and tabbed bars and things like that I've created. So these are just going to extend the menu. And then the buttons can be added into here. You can have different types of buttons. You can extend that. So I've got like a toolbar button that extends the JEST button class. Anyways, all of that is very, very useful. And so I don't really need the game tools to be in C++. This is super flexible. You can style this like on a whim. So like if I went in here and I just wanted to change the appearance of it, I can just go into the JEST tiler application here and I can start editing the appearance of stuff. If I wanted to edit the appearance of the GUI, I just go into the GUI and I start editing the appearance of the GUI. So why would I, put it in C++ in the end? I feel like we're moving into an era now where, I'm drawing now, apparently. That's the draw tool. I have the draw tool selected. So Flash went out. Flash went out. ActionScript went out because of, I think it was Steve Jobs. He didn't want it anymore. He's like, fuck Flash, fuck ActionScript. Adobe's like whole empire of Flash came crashing. So Flash used to be way better than JavaScript. And it's a good thing that, Steve Jobs and his empire, like Apple pushed to get rid of Flash, because JavaScript can now do stuff that Flash can do. And in my opinion, it's better. It's more code-oriented, which I prefer. I prefer things to be more code-oriented because I want to know where things are and I want to have meticulous control over it. And I want to have it to be like ran like a professional engine rather than a graphical interpretation of what I'm telling it to do. And so this JavaScript is very, very powerful. You can change the style. You can create your own themes. I've got this plugged into. So in this program, I've got like this new online mode. You can hook the online class that I have created for the simulator up to the level editor and create some plugins for it. So you can create plugins for the level editor where people can chat while making levels. People can log in and they can, maybe they can get achievements while making levels. They can have co-development mode where two people can be working on the same level at once. This is compatible with the online mode because it's built in the same engine, and I build modularly. Everything I do is modular and flexible and highly professional. I'm not gonna say I'm a better programmer than Stefan. I've always had better ideas than him. I've always had, I think I create things more flexible. This is why people bought my games and stuff, because I'm good. I'm good at what I do. And even when it comes to programming. So let me just say that, like, I absolutely have a very flexible modular game engine here and an engine for building software applications such as this level editor. This is just built using the engine itself. And so if you wanted to create new applications, you can just do that. And then you can port it into Electron, compile that into a .app, which is, a Mac OS application, or an executable, an exe file. And then people can install that on their computer or just download it and open it up and run it. JavaScript's where it's at. It's just where it's at, man. And so that's highly flexible. We can style all this stuff. We can add cool animations. We can create skins for it. We can plug it into different systems. We can plug it into databases. You can port it to your websites, all that stuff. So JavaScript is super, super powerful, especially with Electron being able to port that into, like I said, applications, so that, really, what's the point in doing it in C++? Like, C++ is more secure, yeah. But I think when it comes to game tools, are we really looking for security, or are we looking for flexibility? And so I don't really think I need to do the tools in C++. So anyways, I much, 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 prefer the JavaScript that I've created here. I wasn't really expecting to appreciate it as much as I do. At first, I was thinking to myself, you know, what, by the way, this is like one of the Glotica levels, so it should technically be blue, and then we start doing stuff to it to add like bubbles and creatures in there. But like all the coding stuff is just not yet in this level editor. But however, you can do pretty much everything. So like if you can, you know, you can switch between tabs and stuff like that, and it remembers your marquee and stuff between levels and stuff. I don't know if I'm going to keep that feature there, but whatever. Like the point is you can do that. You can move stuff around, select it, move it around. So if I wanted to, I could copy and then just like, well, the paste is messed up. I got to fix that. I don't know what I did. I started doing a bunch of stuff before this video, so I got to fix that. I guess it is working. I just must have, I don't know. Unless it's, maybe if it's floated. If it's floated and you paste. No. Maybe if it's floated and you copy and paste. Anyway, this is super powerful. Everything, yeah, I guess the paste works. I don't know. I must have hit delete or something. Anyways, you can just select everything. You can, you know, select tiles over here. You can start building if you want to. Oh, that's messed up. Everything's messed up. You know, it's like working and then I go to do a video. This is why I don't do, this is why I'm like just, I put this together in 2 weeks. So you guys just bear with me. It's mostly working. I think it's getting the scroll. It's not calculating the scroll there. So if you have like, if you scroll to the top, it's calculating it properly. I'm sure. Oops. Let me just move that. And so, yeah. But I bet you when I scroll down, check this out. I'm gonna show you a bug. It thinks I'm scrolled up here, so it places it up there. I just got to fix that. But everything's working, and it's just minor. It's just a minor thing. However, yeah. So like, if I go to close it, it says, "Hey, you got unsaved changes. You want to close anyway?" Sure, I do want to close it. Yes, I do. I can draw on it, like I said before. Hold on, I gotta select that draw tool. Let me just go, boom, and then you can see I can just draw. So there's some cool features I still want to add yet. But the point is that like, and then if you hit save, it compiles it into like a file and it just downloads it. So whatever format it gets saved into, it can be whatever we want it to be. And again, all this stuff is so modular. So I build stuff to be modular from the get-go. I build stuff with future features in mind. So I've built my levels and the level editor with the idea in mind that there can be multiple tile sets that you can use in one level. I built it in mind with a lot of different features. And so how we end up interpreting that data and compiling it and saving it to a file is, well, I mean, it's just infinite. The possibilities are infinite. Right now, it just saves it as like raw level data. Like we're able to open NW files. It just doesn't save NW files because I'm not trying to recreate Graal. Like people are like, oh my God, are you like just like trying to like create Graal just like in your own engine? No, I don't give a fuck about Graal. I think that Graal is outdated. I think it's cool. I want my fucking money that they owe me, and I want the respect and a massive apology, or I'm gonna fucking make anyway. But what I don't care for is I think that like their technology is just like, I don't care for it. Stefan, I think that a lot of the stuff that Stefan makes is very spaghetti code now. I don't think it's very much done in C++ and his stuff, which is fine, but I don't think he's building modularly for modern applications. And most modern applications are going the JavaScript route. And it's much better to have it built in your game engine. So I have the game engine built in JavaScript. I have the level editor built in the same engine. So you can start just like implementing stuff. Like you have that code, you can port it to not just the applications you create. You can just create as many applications as you want and game tools as you want, but you can plug that right into your game simulations and your online mode. So like that is super powerful. That's not to say that what Stefan's doing is not powerful. It is. It's just that it's very closed. It's a very closed environment. You can't really go. I mean, you can go open source with it because you know you can go open source with anything. But a lot of what he does is very much C++ based. And you know what's the point, right? Like what's the point in that? Because it's very difficult to change and modify stuff. Whereas JavaScript, you can do tons and tons of stuff with CSS styling and tons of stuff with DOM manipulation in JavaScript. Tons of stuff. The animations are so much easier. If you want to skin stuff, if you want to change stuff on the fly, if you want to port things into it and give plugins, most people are more adept with JavaScript or JavaScript coding. So there's a lot more that you can do with it. It's much more flexible. And so, you know, and Stefan's not even doing anything anymore. He's got his own stuff, his own projects or whatever. But yeah, so we're not trying to recreate Graal. I have my own graphics that I'm working on, things like that. And not that this stuff, a ton of this stuff belongs to me already. Like a bunch of these are my tiles. These are my cliff tiles and stuff that I've created. And the money that they owe me, like, I'll take whatever I want to. I just don't care for it. I don't think that Graal is that great. I think that it's old. It's old. It's just not very. It's old. It's old, guys. I think that Graal is not that great. So a lot of people have been wondering that. They're like, "Are you trying to make Graal? Why would I do that? Why? For what reason? Like, I don't care for it. I just think that there's an opportunity to do better." However, being able to create your own level files in your own level file formats, that is the beauty of this. So if we wanted to add layers and things like that, we can definitely implement that into the code. I built it to be very flexible and very modular, as mentioned, in that particular aspect as well. Not just in the application, fluid GUI and interacting with the engine and the online mode, but also with the ability to, like I said, to enhance more stuff. If you wanted to have multiple tile sets or define, which tile set the tiles belong to and different features you want to do there. If you wanted to add layers and stuff, that would be just a simple matter of being able to enhance your application using the JavaScript plugins. So I think having a level editor and game tools where people can create plugins for them and create equip or enter into make use of. I don't even want to just say that, not just equip and enter into, but make use of the existing online mode that I've already created. It's just going to make their lives a breeze. They can just quickly send data to the server and get it back and interpret it, and then turn it into some type of interpretation where the user experience is able to interact with other players on the other end, or other designers and developers on the other end, I should say. So, yeah, that is a big part of where this is going. So there's a basic tile editor now. Being able to add anything you want to it in the future is super easy. Being able to create new applications is going to be much, 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 much easier. I've already, like I've shown you, I've created tons new classes for tabs, file views, editing, tab bars, menus, toolbar buttons, all that jazz, and simpler ways. I also have like this cool new thing down here, which is like, it's this Python script. Where is it? The build.js bundle py. So like what you can do is you can run this Python script and it will compile your files that you need to include. So this is no longer just a browser plugin. It's actually just being ported into the website itself, because I think that the ultimate goal is to get this plugged into Electron. You can still have this as a plugin. There's still this manifest.json that just needs updated, which I don't care for. But the ability to make this a plugin is there, which is super useful. So that could be anything, right? That could be your game. So if I wanted to open this game, assuming that I haven't broke it in the process, which I probably have. Oh, I guess I didn't break it somehow. Magically, I didn't break it. But anyways, if you wanted to, let's see here. Yeah, so if you wanted to turn it into a plugin, you can still do that. That's fine. I've already equipped that for you guys, but now you can also just import it into a website itself with this index.php file. And the way that works is we have the load order. So the load order.txt is basically like an HTTP access file. I'll have to come up with a better name for the file, but regardless, you go through here and you can add all the includes of things that need to be included. You can do things like comments using the $, and then you can have determine whether something is loaded remote or locally. So if it's part of the local websites or whatever, then that is going to be done through a separate configuration file so that you can run your local configurations, and then you can also have the remote configuration so you can just quickly upload stuff. And the other thing that this does is it bundles things and minifies it and obfuscates it. So like for the remote version, it will also create a different file where it's minified. I'm not going to keep looking for it, but it's minified and it's obfuscated. Whereas the local version will have all of your files broken down for you. And so that allows for debugging, right? So yeah, a lot's going on here. It's very, very useful, very, very powerful. I'm gonna hop off. I think you guys have got the gist of it. So basically anything that I wanted to add to it now is fine, but just to be able to start making levels again, that's definitely a huge plus. Like, I don't know if there's a level editor for Graal and Mac for Apple. I don't care if there is. I've looked, I didn't really find one, but also I don't trust a lot of Graal's downloads. And so for the longest time, I just haven't been able to even edit levels because I want to do it right and I want to do it the way that I want to do it. So now that I finally have just like created my own software for it, that is opening up a whole new world for me where I can start creating my worlds again. Because that's one after they robbed me, they blocked me and like stopped like allowing me to, because like they shut down the G servers and then just like shoved all my content on their servers and withheld it from me. Long story short, like I was blocked from being able to edit my own content and play it in an online mode in a way that was like a professional and open engine. And so I just haven't been able to get that back for the last 26 years. And so I've just recreated it myself. And I'm going to do that in my own graphics, my own stuff, my own whatever I want it to be. And so anyways, I finally have a level editor again. And this is built very, 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 very nicely. It's very flexible, and you can, like I said, you can create plugins for it. You can skin it. You can do whatever you want with it. You know, and also being able to plug into the online mode. I want to emphasize that again. That's a massive plus. So like your level editor can plug into MySQL. Your level editor can plug into records. You can create your own tools and JavaScript plugins. You can import other JavaScript plugins into it. You can probably connect it to Discord. I'm not sure exactly the best way or the easiest way to do that, but if you wanted to, you could. Because I know that Discord bots can also be done through the web. So you could definitely create like a Discord bot and implement that into the level editor. You can, just a lot of stuff, man. I guess I don't want to mention all the ideas because I can come up with 1,000 right off the top of my head. But the possibilities are pretty much endless and limitless there. Especially, like I said, being web-based. So you can also play, you don't have to download the application. Like you can have it through Electron and have it like on your computer, but you could also plug this into a web address, like I said, a remote web address, and you can load your files through MySQL records, and you can edit your levels and have them saved to the database and have backup, like auto backups. So like if you're working on it and you don't want to lose your changes, and you can have it like, you know, auto backup for 10 states or something, right? For 10 undo levels, and you can have history undo levels. You can save those and log them into the server, and then you can load that up. Let's say you're like, oh God, I really need to, I just have this cool idea, or I want to quickly edit this and, you know, launch it, but like I'm just like hanging out at a concert or something's happening. You can do that. You can do it anywhere. You know, you can pull up the level editor through a web browser, and you can have the web-based version that's not, you know, through an Electron application. You can have that accessible anywhere. You can do it on your tablet. You can do it wherever. So there's a lot to, you know, a lot of benefit to this being built, again, in the same engine as the game itself, the JavaScript version of the game. So yeah, there's a lot you can do there. This is the Python script will compile these files for you and quickly generate the stuff that you need it to generate. What else do I want to say? Yeah, so you could also create your other applications, like your server. Even your server could be created in using the same classes I've been using here, where I have like, you know, the new GUI and file management classes. You just have to, you know, create some good ones for MySQL, which I've already done that stuff before. Like I said, I'm actually recycling a lot of code that I started in 2017. I just needed to port it over and make it better because it needed a lot of work. and put it into the new engine and clean it up and make it better. But like, I have my own content management system that I've done in PHP, JavaScript, and HTML, and also, clearly, obviously CSS. So that can be plugged right into the application. I have my own content management system that I can plug my game engine into. That's very useful. You could port this into a website. So like if you wanted to have like a message board with a level editor in it, you can port that in there. You can have an online mode in it. Where, like I said, where you could even have like live levels. So like if you have like an online level, if you rig this up so to have an online levels files that are being ported through either files being saved to the server directly, which you can clearly hook JavaScript into PHP. It's super, super easy. If you wanted to, you could save it as files directly, or you could save it as MySQL records so that you have the data backed up. And what you could do then is you could have live levels. So like players could, or developers, players, whatever, could open levels in the application, like maybe on your message board or wherever it is, and people can have a collaborative level. So it doesn't even have to be through an online mode. You can have like levels, you can rig it up to open levels on the server, and then people can add to it and have a collaborative level experience. So the way that would work is you would just have records, in the MySQL database or the file in the wherever in your web host, and then they load that data through the level editor online, and they add to it, and when they hit save, it just edits it on the server directly, and then other people can come in through another browser page and load and see the changes you made and just start adding to it as well. So you can have collaborative worlds and stuff like that are online, and it's much easier to do it when it's not through C++. The problem with C++ is it's so difficult to enhance it and to add to it. It's just so hard. Like I can do that, but I don't think that it's efficient. To me, C++ is inefficient for game tools of this fashion, of this caliber, because I think that there's a lot more that can be done with this style of game and style of community that C++ just does. It's just not efficient. It's not convenient enough. And so, anyways, this is much, this engine that I have here that I've created and the tools that I have built are definitely geared for that type of experience and geared for that type of flexibility and opportunity. It would be easy if you wanted to have another mode. You could create like either a separate application, just boot it up and duplicate it and modify it slightly, where you can define the tile set. So you can have like a tile definitions definer, where you can say, oh, well, this is a chair, this is water, this is a cliff tile, this is a walking tile, this is a blocking tile. You can have all that. You can have modes in the editor itself that do that. You can have like a little snapshot button here that'll just download a snapshot of the level. I already have methods for that. It's super easy, especially since this is already open. So like if you take this and you just open this level here, right? All you have to do is just similar to the save button. It's so easy. You just create one method for it that just takes a picture of the canvas and downloads it. And so you can just have super quick ways to just download screenshots. I'm going to do, a lot more, I think, tools here that are going to be more like, so you can do things that like you can do in Photoshop that you can't do in most level editors. I'm going to add like more capabilities and things like that. But anyway, there's just so much more benefit to having this through JavaScript, I'm starting to realize. So I wanted it to be in C++. But the more that I realize that JavaScript has reached a place where that's bigger and better than Flash has ever been, I think I'm finally comfortable saying that I want it to be in JavaScript. And I'm going to stick with that. And it's working, and levels can be made, and levels can be edited. And enhancements and plugins can follow suit. Anyway, thanks for watching. Talk to you all later.